Both guys 5 each for fighting!
Welcome, guys, to my banya.
Oh, Burkie. Buddy, this is just what the doctor ordered, bud.
I can't believe you dragged me here on a day off.
Burkie, let yourself go. Relax the mind. Forget your problems, bud.
It's 100 degrees in here, Jeff.
Yeah. Listen, this is right up your alley, Burkie. Your ties to Soviet hockey go way back, and I've always wanted to ask you about Anatoly Tarasov. One of my favorite hockey books ever, is Road to Olympus. I've read that thing so many times. Didn't you bring him to Vancouver camp in the 80s?
Well, Pat did. I was there, but the Griffiths family arranged this. Actually, it was Arthur Griffiths. They arranged Mr. Tarasov to come to training camp, and also Vladislav Tretiak, the great goaltender. And it was amazing because they didn't view themselves as thieves. He stole everything. They had no money. Mm-hmm. They had no food. They had nothing, the Russians. They would sit down and eat with us, and Pat Quinn would be sitting across from me. I'd sit nearby. They would steal the cutlery, the napkins, the salt and pepper shakers. If there was a napkin dispenser, they'd take the napkin dispenser. They would grab stuff on their way out. And again, they weren't thieves. They were just dirt poor, and they could sell us stuff when they got back there.
I'm fascinated by this guy. What was your experience like outside of going to dinner with him and having him liberate the table of the salt and pepper? What was your experiences like with Tarasov?
I met him numerous times. We had issues about his rental car. He didn't like the rental car. It was a minivan. Mr. Tarasov was a big man. It was hard for him to get in and out.
Yeah.
So I had interactions with Tarasov. He was always very polite, very firm and correct.
You mentioned Vladislav Tretiak a couple of moments ago. Any stories about him?
Oh, yeah, he stole everything, too. See, he comes over. They were going to put on a clinic for the goalies. You're talking about one of the greatest goalies that ever lived, and one of the best guys. Everyone loves this guy. First day we're in training camp on Vancouver Island. Shows up with brand new gear. Pads, blockers, gloves, chest protector, everything. Brand new, right out of the thing. We come back the next day, we're doing a second clinic. 2 days later at UBC, he shows up and shrugs, no gear. So we outfitted him top to bottom again. And we're like, this guy's a thief. And then we're like, we figured out he was shipping the stuff back to the Soviet Union. He didn't keep any of it. Mr. Tretiak, he's a great guy.
Hey, Burkie, it's only 5 guys in banya today. No more.
Let me fire a couple of names at you here of players. Vladimir Krutov.
He only lasted 1 year. He could not adapt to life outside the Soviet system. But we thought the great Soviet machine with their great, it's like, what's the guy from Rocky?
Oh, Ivan Drago.
Ivan Drago, right? This nuclear...
I will break you.
Yeah, well, this guy hadn't been to a dentist in 10 years. And I think we had to drop about $10,000 on dental work for Vladimir Krutov and an additional $10,000 on dental work for his wife. The first road trip we took, Doug Lidster was driving, I think, and he said to Krutz, jump in and I'll give you a ride. And we got in the car to drive to the rink, and he opened a beer. And Doug Lidster's like, Krutz, you can't drink in the car in Canada, and you can't drink on road trips anyway, so get rid of the beer. He couldn't care less.
What about Igor Larionov, professor?
Igor made us better the first day, like the very first practice. I remember he's making passes our guys weren't ready for. You would be skating, thinking he could not make a pass to you. He'd get it to 3 people, it would hit your stick. And all of a sudden you're like, well, geez, I better start paying attention. He made us better right away. He was funny because he wrote a book during our first year about the Soviet Union, and they threatened to sue him because he said he injected the players with this milky white substance.
That was the Black Sea training we always heard about, Brian.
Exactly. Pat says to me, go see Igor before he talks to the media and find out, he's going to get sued. So I go into Igor. I said, is this true about the steroids? And he said, yeah, yes. And I said, well, what else is in there that I got to be worried about? And he says, Burkie, buy the book. One of the world's foremost communists in his day was a capitalist at once.
Gentlemen, are you ready?
Oh, yeah, here we go.
You, Jeff.